The grand hall of Velmora shimmered with crystal light, its towering columns carved from starstone that pulsed faintly with ambient magic. Today marked the royal selection, the day Princess Anna of the Thessaline Dominion would choose her consort from among the finest princes the galaxy had to offer. 17 suitors stood in a gleaming line before her throne. Warlords from the Kryth Empire with chitinous armor, silver-eyed princes from the lunar courts, a towering Dracoth heir whose scales shifted color with his mood. Each had traveled light years, bringing dowries of rare minerals, fleets of warships, and promises of alliance. Anna sat upon her throne, chin resting on her knuckles, utterly unimpressed. The royal test, her steward announced, voice echoing through the hall, will determine which suitor possesses the wisdom, strength, and heart worthy of Princess Anna's hand. The first trial was strength. The Dracoth prince, Vornak, crushed a boulder of solid tungsten alloy with his bare claws, roaring triumphantly as dust rained down. The crowd cheered. Anna merely blinked. The second trial was wisdom. A Kryth philosopher prince recited ancient theorems on cosmic entropy, his 6 eyes gleaming with intellectual pride. Anna stifled a yawn. The third trial, the one that mattered most, was compassion. Each suitor was led to a chamber where a wounded servant lay, seemingly abandoned and forgotten, to see how they would react. Prince Vornak stepped over the servant without a glance. Why would royalty concern itself with the lower castes? The lunar prince, Salith, dabbed at his nose with a scented cloth. Someone should really clean this mess up before I catch something. One by one, they failed. Not one suitor so much as knelt to check if the servant breathed. Anna's jaw tightened with each dismissal, her hope curdling into disgust. By the 17th prince, the hall had grown restless. Nobles murmured. Anna's mother, the queen, shifted uneasily on her throne beside her daughter. None of them are worthy, Anna finally said, rising from her seat. Her voice cut through the murmuring crowd like a blade. None of them even see people who aren't useful to them. Princess, the steward said carefully, there are no more suitors. The selection has failed. Anna's eyes swept the hall and stopped. In the far corner, half hidden behind a support column, a lone figure moved methodically with a mop and bucket, cleaning up the mess left by the previous trial's stage theatrics. He wore a simple gray uniform, sleeves rolled to his elbows, dark hair damp with sweat. He hadn't even looked up during the entire spectacle. He was just working. It was Ben, one of the palace's human janitorial staff, a species so unremarkable to Velmoran society that most nobles didn't bother learning their names. Humans occupied the lowest rungs of the galactic hierarchy, tolerated only because their planet controlled valuable shipping lanes. They were seen as short-lived, fragile, and beneath notice. Anna watched him for a long moment. He'd paused his work only once, to kneel beside the wounded servant from the third trial, checking the man's pulse with gentle fingers, murmuring something reassuring before continuing his cleaning once the servant weakly waved him off, embarrassed to be fussed over. He hadn't done it for show. He hadn't known anyone was watching. You, Anna said, pointing. The entire hall fell into stunned silence. Ben looked up, blinking, mop still in hand. He glanced behind himself, assuming she meant someone else. Me? Come here. Whispers erupted like a wildfire through dry grass. A human? A janitor? The nobles' faces twisted with a mixture of horror and scandal. Even the queen's composure cracked, her mouth falling open slightly. Ben set down his mop, wiped his hands on his uniform, and approached the throne with the careful, measured steps of someone deeply aware he did not belong in this moment. He bowed, an actual, respectful bow, not the theatrical genuflection the princes had performed. Your Highness, he said, I think there's been some mistake. There hasn't, Anna said. What's your name? Ben, Your Highness. I just cleaned the halls. You checked on that servant. No one told you to. No one was rewarding you for it. Ben shrugged, looking faintly uncomfortable at being the center of attention. He looked hurt. Seemed like the decent thing to do. The decent thing, Anna repeated, tasting the words like they were foreign to this hall. Do you know how many princes walked past him without a second glance? I wasn't really paying attention to the show, Your Highness. Just doing my job. A ripple of scandalized laughter came from the Kryth delegation. Prince Vornak's scales flushed an angry crimson. This is an insult. A servant boy competing for the hand of a princess. He's not competing, Anna said, turning to face the hall, her voice hardening into something regal and absolute. He already won. He was the only one in this entire room who saw a person instead of a prop. The steward, pale and stammering, tried to interject. Princess, the protocols state that only registered suitors of appropriate. Then change the protocols, Anna snapped. Or explain to me why an empire that prizes wisdom and compassion just watched 17 princes fail both, while a man with a mop passed without even trying. Silence. Ben cleared his throat awkwardly. With respect, Princess, I think you might be overreacting a little. I just checked if a guy was okay. That's not exactly royal material. That, Anna said, stepping down from the dais to stand before him, is exactly royal material. The problem is nobody else here understands that anymore. The queen finally found her voice. Anna, think about what you're suggesting. This isn't just scandalous. It could fracture alliances across a dozen systems. Then let them fracture, Anna said calmly. I'd rather rule beside someone who sees people than someone who sees thrones. Vornak stepped forward, claws flexing. This human is nothing. His species barely understands basic technology. He has no army, no fleet, no. He has a conscience, Anna interrupted. Something apparently in short supply among royalty. The hall buzzed with outrage, disbelief, whispered calculations of political fallout. But beneath it, quietly, something else stirred, servants along the walls exchanging glances, straightening slightly, as though remembering they were people too. Ben rubbed the back of his neck. Your Highness, I appreciate this, I really do. But I'm a janitor. I clean floors for a living. I don't know the first thing about running a dominion or diplomacy or... Neither did I, once, Anna said, softer now, just for him. I learned. You could too. But that's not even the point, Ben. The point is I don't want someone who already knows how to rule. I want someone who knows how to care. The rest can be taught. Ben studied her for a long moment, searching, perhaps, for mockery or manipulation, some hidden cruelty in her offer. He found none. Just a tired princess who'd spent a long, humiliating day watching the galaxy's best and brightest reveal themselves as hollow. I'd have to think about it, he said finally. This is a lot. Take all the time you need, Anna said. The offer isn't going anywhere. Prince Vornak let out a disgusted growl and stormed from the hall, his entourage trailing after him, muttering about broken alliances. Several other suitors followed, indignant, insulted that a human had been placed above them. The lunar prince Salith merely rolled his silver eyes and departed without comment, already composing the humiliating story he'd tell his court. But not everyone left offended. A few servants near the back of the hall began, quietly, to clap. The wounded man from the third trial, very much recovered. It turned out, the wound, having been minor and staged, stood and bowed toward Ben with genuine respect. The queen watched her daughter with an expression caught between exasperation and something like pride. You've just insulted half the galaxy's ruling houses, she murmured. I've just told the truth, Anna replied. If they can't handle that, they were never going to be good allies anyway. Ben looked down at his mop, still standing where he'd left it, then back at the princess who'd upended centuries of tradition in the span of a single afternoon. All right, he said slowly, but I'm finishing my shift first. Someone still has to clean up this mess. Anna laughed, the first real laugh anyone had heard from her in years, bright and unguarded. Fair enough. I'll help. The queen buried her face in her hands as her daughter, Princess Anna of the Thessaline Dominion, picked up a spare mop and began cleaning the grand hall alongside a human janitor, while a dozen humiliated princes' ships disappeared into the night sky. It would be, historians later agreed, the single greatest diplomatic incident in Velmoran history. It would also be the beginning of the most beloved reign the Dominion had ever known.